What's up, you guys? Happy Tuesday. My lighting is terrible. How are we? So, I had a long weekend. I'll just preface this. Sleep and food are really, really important. That's one of my top takeaways from Pays to Be Brave. But anyway, so I was in San Diego this weekend with the Pause and Hungry for Happiness team at an event called Pays to Be Brave. So if you are a female entrepreneur, you've probably heard of Pays to Be Brave. If you're not, you probably haven't. So what Pays to Be Brave is, it was 1,500 women coming together for 2 days to talk all the things about marketing and life and business and all that good stuff. So it was a really fun weekend. Sam Skelly got to teach breath work to that room, which was one of the most powerful things I've ever witnessed, and just continues to excite me more about being able to share that with you guys. But I wanted to pass on some of my takeaways. So on a personal level, like I said, sleep and food are super important. So today was a really good reminder for me so I woke up at 2:45 on Friday. I had to get on a plane at like 7:30, but my brain likes to wake up. So I got up at like 2:45, didn't go to bed till basically midnight Denver time. That is way too many hours for me. But it was a fun day, super fun day, dropped into a CrossFit gym, whatever. So up really early Friday, late to bed Friday, Saturday, kind of normal hours. Sunday, got up early, didn't go to bed till 2:30. Slept till 6:30 and then had to take the girls to school. And then this morning I got up at 3:20. So needless to say, I'm a little tired today. And it's a really good reminder that consistency, that's one of our top things in Shift, consistency with all the things you do in your life, eating, sleeping, etc., drastically affect your energy, and your energy affects your motivation affects what you can get done in this world. Okay, so if you ever doubt that not sleeping enough or not eating enough matter, they do, right? And I didn't eat enough. We were just doing too much stuff and whatever. So anyway, but what I wanted to talk about, the stuff that I got from the speakers. So two things. I think it's always really, really good to put yourself in scenarios. Hi, honey. Put yourself in scenarios where you're surrounded with people that are going to lift you up, that are going to push you, that are going to remind you of the things that you want to be doing and the things you need to hear. And just being in that environment in and of itself is motivating, right? So if you're not in a place where you have friends or you have colleagues or you have people that push you, that help you, that support you, and that make you see that, like, if you're living here or here, that there's always more to be up-leveling, right? I truly believe if we're not growing, that we're not going anywhere in life, right? So biggest thing is surround yourself with people that will push you, people that can teach you, and also people that you can teach. I think there's a huge benefit to being on both sides of it, right? The giving and the receiving. And that was kind of where I got to be this week, which was really awesome, was I got to be with Hungry for Happiness, and I got to chat with these women and say, you know what, you have this gift, you have this passion, you can go teach breath work. So I got to lift them up, but at the same time, I got to be inspired by my team, by Samantha Skelly, by the people on stage. So I think that's super important. So look at where you're at. There's that old saying of like the top 5 people affect how you are. It's totally true. Okay. Second thing was that there's 2 big things that was talked about a lot. One being fear and the other being pain, right? So Angie Lee's brother, Mike Lee, spoke, and he was a professional boxer and ended up in a ton of physical pain and went through all this transformation and was like, really changed his relationship to pain. And that's also something that we teach about in Shift, is that like pain is never going to go away. Physical pain, emotional pain, just like pain is going to be part of our life. But all of the pain, all of the struggle that we've been through is getting you exactly where you need to be, right? It's creating who you are. It's teaching you things, right? It can be your purpose. And so it was really interesting, because I've had this true revelation for me that I do actually believe that everything is happening in perfect timing. And even when it doesn't feel like it, even when it's struggling, even when we're struggling, even when whatever, like it is all happening in perfect timing. Like when I look back at the last 3 years, our building got sold, super stressful. We hired a company to help us, super amazing, learned a lot, spent a lot of money on it, which was great. We invested in ourselves. That led me back to getting deeper into my eating disorder, which was my need for certainty and all that kind of stuff. So brought me back to my eating desire, which doesn't seem like that would be a good thing. But what that did was that brought me back into that pain state, and it made me realize that I needed to do more, which led me to Hungry for Happiness, which led me to everything in my life changing, and now a million opportunities that I would have never expected. So looking back, that seemed the thing that happened to us 2 years ago, that seemed like the worst possible scenario of our building being sold and our rent tripling, has actually completely shifted and changed our lives in such a better way. Like I probably wouldn't know any of this stuff if that hadn't happened. So really leaning into if I'm in struggle right now, what is this here to teach me? Reframing that, finding gratitude in the moment, and knowing truly in your heart and soul that everything really is happening for you in perfect timing, even if you don't know what that is right now, right? So I invite you guys, if you're in that part of your life, is to reflect on it and take a minute and say, okay, what is this here to teach me? How can I learn from this? Knowing that you're never going to stay in that place, right? You're always going to move out of that. Beside pain is fear. And it's so, I mean, most of us are living our lives with this underlying fear-based behaviors that are stopping us that we don't even know it. Like, we don't know that we're living in fear. Sometimes there's stuff we're like, nah, that scares me. I really don't want to go do that. We know that's fear. But there's a lot of stuff that we're just like, we have a little thing in the back of our mind. It's like, but what if I did that? And what if I could do that? And what if I could change the world in this way? And what if I could help these people? And what if I could what? Like, so many of you on here are entrepreneurs, and you're living small because of fear, right? What are those fears? Fear of not being accepted, fear of failing, fear of people not liking you, fear of all that stuff, right? And the truth of the matter is, that's probably all going to happen. But what is that fear here to show you, right? And that was one of the things Andy was talking about that I thought was really cool. She said, follow your fear, right? Like, if you're afraid of it, that probably means you need to do it. And I said to one of the girls today, I was like, the things in my life that have been the scariest, but that I had a visceral yes, I had a gut instinct, my intuition said, yeah, I gotta do that. All of those things have changed my life in the best ways, right? Like, I got divorced when I was 27. That was a really, really hard decision, but I knew that I had to do it. I quit my parents' business. Also a really hard decision, but I knew I had to do it. I joined Hunger for Happiness in a time and a place where I was like, I don't think I can handle this. But I knew I had to do it, right? So I invite you guys of what is that thing? What is that calling? What is that thing that's going on in your gut that's saying you need to do it? Maybe it's quit your job. Maybe it's apply for a new job. Maybe it's ask that person out. Whatever it is, like, the things that scare you, the things that you're afraid of are the exact things that you need to go after. Because if you stay in your comfort zone, you're not growing, right? We just talked about growth. So think about, what is going on and why are you taking action based out of fear, and how can you shift that into a state of love, right? That's our whole thing that we teach is getting out of fear-based behaviors. First, identifying them, because if you don't know that they're coming from fear, you can't really change them. And then shifting into that place of love, right? The next thing that I really realized was the connection, right? People are dying for true connection, right? Like, so many people, we're on our phone, I'm connecting with you guys here, but like, we're not in the same space. We're not in the same energy. We're not in that same vibe. And that is so tangible. And side note, we were talking about energy the other day. And there are people in this world that believe energy is a thing. There's people in this world that don't think it is. I think if I said, you've met that person that has this vibe that you just want to be around, you'd be like, yeah, totally, right? That's a thing. It's not tangible. But neither is gravity. But we all believe in gravity. So what I'm getting at is that I think the world is missing true connection, right? I was talking to one of the gals that's in the Hunger for Happiness program, and she's contemplating what she wants to do with her life, and she just misses connection, right? So she's building a business from home. She used to be in a corporate office. She's like, I just miss connection. And I'm like, well, don't go back to the corporate world just to find connection, right? There are ways to find connection. And that was so much of what people needed this weekend. They needed to know that the person beside them was having the same struggle. They needed to know that there was somebody they could count on. They needed to know that there was somebody that was going to say, hey, it gets to be this easy, right? We helped this gal get started in Pause, and she was so sweet. And she's like, I'm a web designer, and I'm doing this other thing, and maybe I should quit my job. And we're like, yeah, quit your job. Like, how much do you need to survive in that new business? And we literally got her some customers, and she's like, can it really be this easy? And we're like, yeah, I can. So, but it only gets to be that easy when you have those people around you. So find that group of connection, whether it's friends, whether it's, networking groups, whether it's, CrossFit gyms, like, people need that connection, right? I dropped into a CrossFit gym on Friday because I was like, that's what I do. I love talking to people. And I stayed around and chatted with these people I've never met and I may never see again, right? So if you're feeling unfulfilled in your life, really look at where are you getting your connection, okay? So if you only have one or two friends, or you have, a husband or a wife or a girlfriend or a boyfriend, right? Like, you have a connection there, but where else could you meet your need for connection? Because that is one of the biggest things in life that will actually lift you up and inspire you, is that connection to people, right? And the last thing is something that we talk about all the time. And I had lunch with one of our soon-to-be people, and she and I just connected, like, we'll be friends for a very long time. And she was talking about her need for certainty. And she didn't realize it was her need for certainty. But, the more, so our need for certainty, you guys, many of us think it's control. Like, I want to have control. I have to do all these things. And it's like, it's not control. It's actually your need for certainty, okay? So certainty makes you feel safe. Our brains are rooted in fear, which make us want to feel safe. Okay, so that's the reason that so many of us don't take action. We don't change because we're like, that's really uncertain. I don't know, right? Like this happens in business. It happens with people when they want to stop dieting, right? Like I was talking to that gal, and she was like, she's a CrossFitter too, and so of course we're connected, and she was like, I'm ready to stop counting macros, but I'm so afraid. And I was like, yeah, macros are your need for certainty. They were mine too. I was like, well, other things can be going chaotic in my life, but if I can just keep control of this one thing, it met my need for certainty. And so the thing about it is we have to shift our relationship to certainty. We have to create certainty in our life. That can be with a morning routine. It can be with just the things that you do. Like I think morning routine is the easiest way of like, this is what I do. I get to create a feeling in my body, so that I can have a different relationship with uncertainty in my life. So I can be like, well, this is uncertain, but if I have an outcome, I can make it happen, right? And so I really want you guys to think about like, what in your life are you doing that's you're only doing because it's your need for certainty, right? And so many of us stay stuck because we really need that need for certainty, okay? That's the underlying piece under a lot of our fear is what if, right? So I invite you to rewrite that story to, well, what if it does work? What if that person does say yes? What if that person is your soulmate, right? Like, what if you do start this business? What if you do join that company? Whatever, right? Like, play it out the way you want it to come out because it will, right? And when you know that your body and your soul say that's the thing, that's the way you've got to go, if you just lean into that and know that you have certainty in that feeling and in that trust in yourself, then you'll always end up where you need to be. So those are just my takeaways, my little motivation for Tuesday. So I'd love to know more of what you guys like to hear. What really lands with you? What do you need in this world that you have questions about? So DM those to me. I will do live videos on them. I love talking to you guys and I love the feedback. So hope you guys are having an amazing Tuesday. And I will see a lot of you at the gym or at soccer tonight. All right, guys, I'll talk to you soon.